Hi everyone, thanks for joining. So this is my group for the assignment 2 of BN209 software engineering. So I would like to confirm with if all the team members are here. Sravan, you there? Could you please raise your hand? Sumiran?
Yes, I'm here.
I can't hear you. You there?
Yes, I'm there.
Thanks, man. Sangam, you
I'm
there?
here.
Sunil? I can see you raising your hand. So yeah, let's get started. Sravan, could you please turn the page? So this is the introduction. So what I've done is I've written the introduction very short in the PowerPoint file and made it very precise. So I've written about Australian financial institution known as the Commonwealth Bank. So we've chosen online banking system inspired from Commonwealth Bank for our project. So as you can see, the Commonwealth Bank is the most prominent financial institution in Australia, and the primary goal is to ensure a secure and seamless banking experience for the customers. So to make sure that their end is user centric and it's very easy for them to navigate throughout the system. So the project involves key stakeholders, Commonwealth Bank's team, contractors, and suppliers. And our aim is to establish a strong foundation for successful collaboration and software development. Make sure that the software we're developing is secure for the customer and for the bank as well. So, Shravan, could you please turn over? Yep, thanks. So here is the objectives and goals of our project. So the first objective is elevating the customer experience. Like I've said before, making sure that the customer end is very user friendly. They don't have any troubles using the interface. Second of all, there is enforcing compliance and security, making sure that all the encryptions and all the security features are added in the software. There's another digital transformation, like I've said before, enabling the security and making sure that the digital transformation is taking place as well, boosting digital service adoption, reducing service response times, and implementing advanced security measures. Now for the next page, yep, thanks, Ravan. So these are the scopes for the project. The first scope is creating a user-friendly mobile banking interface, and the other one is implementing an efficient database system and strengthening security with two-factor and biometric authentication and other robust security measures we can put in place as well. But for the project, we've chosen the two-factor authentication and biometric authentication, enhanced security protocols, core banking features, online software management, and finally appropriate database integration for Commonwealth Bank. Now for the next part, I would like to call Servant. Could you please take over?
Yeah, hello guys. So I'm doing the glossary part and the document overview for this project presentation. So we may be seeing a lots of glossary, which is not common in our daily life. And so it is a banking, and we have done our project inspired from the Commonwealth Bank. So we have the first glossary, Commonwealth Bank. It is also known as CBA. We may be using CBA just to make it short. And the account holder. Account holder is anyone who has any accounts associated with the bank, and transaction, whenever we pay something or when we receive money or spend anything, that's known as transaction. And in the context of Australia, we have this BSB number. It represents the bank state branch number. And EFTOPS, it is electronic fund transfer at point of sale. And I think everyone is aware about the KYC. It means know your customer. We have to fill the know all our details in this form. And net banking, in Australia, most of the bank has this feature. So it is used in our project as a glossary. We'll be talking more in depth in the other parts of the project. So talking about the document overview, I am like doing the document overview, in which I am talking about the proposed main section and audience of the this report. And the main section will include all the works done by the different team members. Firstly, let's talk about the purpose of this document overview. Sorry, of this project. The main purpose is to find out the prerequisite for an advanced online banking system. And we, as I have already told, it is inspired by Commonwealth Bank of Australia. And the main sections of this report are objectives, glossary, product description, requirements, assumptions, UML diagrams, testing and deployment strategy. I'll explain more in detail in the next slide. And we have the audience, like we have stakeholders, developers, project managers, testers, uh, and the banking operational managers, who have the foundational understanding of the banking operations. So talking about the document overview leads, we have this introduction in the first part, in which we'll explain the significance of the document. And we have the objectives, goals, and scope, in which we'll be discussing about our the scope of our project. We are doing the online banking system, not the overall banking system. So we'll only be focusing on the online sector section of the banking system. And the glossaries, as I've already discussed, it has the terms which is related to more technical in the banking sector. So we'll have the product description. It will offer a in-depth analysis of software, what kind of software we are producing. And again, we have the functional and non-functional requirements. In every software projects, we should always consider the non-functional requirements. To meet the scope, it is always necessary to meet the functional requirement, but we should also consider the non-functional requirements. It involves a lot of things. I think my friend will discuss in other slides. And the technical assumption and constraints is, this is the small project. We cannot like carry around all the sector of the bank. So we have made some technical assumptions so that it will be short and sweet. So we have done the UML diagrams, which is the visual representation. It will help us to demonstrate our project very efficiently. So we have software testing and acceptance criteria and the proposed deployment strategy. For the product description, I will call out my friend.
Sunil, yes. Thanks, Ravan. So today I'm talking about the product description. As you know, we are talking about the online banking system. People are using all around the world. The online banking system is a new delivery platform for retail banking service and like emerging form of digital banking that aims to provide banking service through the electronic technology device. It provides customer with a banking operation and service directly through the safe and secure internet connection channel without even physically visiting the bank. That means you don't have to worry about going to bank during the daytime or night time. You can always use the banking system whenever you are, wherever you are. So online bank system enables the customer to perform electronic transactions at any time, place through bank website, not only making transaction, but you can also manage your finance from anywhere with the internet action. The most importantly, the facility it provide 24-hour service that allow customer to check their balance, make transaction, even pay bills at any time. And you can keep record of transaction, maintain the privacy of information, and keep track of your monthly income, spending, investing, and saving like that. It provide notification whenever customer about their next pay due, like you won't miss out your pay dues on their bills, and you can make the payment limit per day, month, spending too much, and all the e-commerce is now increasing spending more and more time on online, shifting toward the online service. As you know, people are using lots of things online nowadays. Some of the important features that online banking provide nowadays are like bill payment, checking transaction history, notification, and authentication. Along with the convenience service, it provides protection of the information that is used to transmit the store, and during transaction provide access customer support within system, and it also locate the branch of the ATM nearby. Wherever you go, it will show the nearby ATM of your bank, whatever using. So without meeting in person, you can apply for a loan meeting their criteria. So now I'm going to talk about some functional and non-functional requirement of our online banking system. So some of the functional some of the functional requirement of banking system are like a login, view account, transfer fund, pay bills, customer support, alert, and notification, and transaction. So it means login. Users should be able to use their system using credential login, user password they created. And whenever if you find like whenever you try to log in, if you fail to log in your access, you will get two-factor authentication for securing your profile and the account. Incorrect login details will display an invalid user name and password. If forgotten, the system will ask you to change the password through your email, phone number, or anything. Things like whenever you open the online bank system, it will show you view account. That means it will allow customer to view their balance on saving account, and it also show the summaries of the recent transaction you have made, all the transaction you have made through the history of the statement. And customer can actually download their statement through the emails. So things like transferring funds, it allows user to transfer fund between the authorized account using their phone number. Things like account number, email address, and organization ID. Like all I have already mentioned about the pay bills, you can pay your bills whenever you want, whenever you want. So that means you don't have to worry about getting late payment or get penalty for payment bills. And alert notification, that means whenever you get receive when you receive or paid transaction, or someone have made transaction on your account, you'll get alert or notification on your mobile phone through your mail or by SMS. So things like a non-functional requirement. Non-functional requirement means like a security. How secure is your online banking system? Performance, how well it performs. Confidentiality, reliability, compatibility, scalability, and availability. Is it compatible to all users, like all app or anything? It is available anywhere for any service, or it is available to all the system. So now talking about the security, it ensures that system is protected from unauthorized access to valuable data is not permissible. Now level of security is provided to the customer information, so you don't have to worry about people getting access to your login, just like a passport number or your contact number. So you don't have to be worried about the things like that. Mainly the performance system must allow customer using access banking like 24/7. I have mentioned already, but this is the main thing, that nothing provides you more than anything. So not other system provide you things like 24-hour service without even physically visiting the bank. And things like compatibility, that means you should be access the online banking system through all type of device, through all type of web browser. The system should be responsive and adaptive to various size of screen device and perform smoothly without even worrying about it. So the scalability, the scalability, it has the ability to handle increasing number. No matter how many number we are using on online banking system, it doesn't matter. You don't have to worry about slowing down the services, but it even if like increasing number of user, it will provide your service bestly, improving web protocols, and we keep data secure and even performance. Now I'll take over to my friend Sumren to talk more about the technical assumption and the constraint.
Thank you, Sunil, for giving me mic. Today, today in this, today I'm gonna like explain two assumptions. Basically, there are two assumptions: software assumption and data assumption and hardware assumption. In hardware assumption, it is assumed that the system's hardware system requirement listed in product description. It is believed that the network infrastructure would offer dependable connectivity to end user and external systems. Moving out with software assumption, as stated in the technological stack in section 5, the software development will predominantly use industry standard programming languages, framework, uh, and libraries as stated in the product description. The OS of end user devices such as desktop computers and smartphones will be compatible with the program. If third-party software or services are utilized, their availability and functionality are presumed and functional in accordance with their service level agreements and documentation. And last but not the least, we have data assumption as stated in the product description. The source the data sources and databases needed for the system will be accessible and ready for integration. Data security and integrity safeguards will be put into place based on accepted industry standards. And moving out with technical constraint, we have basically four technical constraint. For first is regulatory constant is all applicable know your customer means KYC, data protection, and financial transaction rules, among others, must be compiled with by the program. And with legacy system integration, the speed and flexibility of the software development process may be hampered by integration with the bank's legacy system. And we have third technical constraint, that is budget and resource limitation. The project is bound by the money allotted and the availability of resources, including people, equipment, and software, may have an impact on the project's timeline and scope. And last but not least, we have security and privacy constraint. Uh, there is strict security and privacy regulations may place a limitation on the system's design and development, aiding to the testing and compliance workload. I would like to transfer Sunil. No. This is my part, activity diagram. Let's move out in activity diagram for online banking system. In this diagram, the online banking system's activity diagram shows a number of crucial interaction and operations. Users must first input their login information in order to access existing accounts, or if they are brand new to the system, to continue with new user registration. Users who have logged in can do a number of financial operations such as withdrawing cash, making deposits, and monitoring their account balances. Additionally, they can examine comprehensive account details and transaction history as a transitional step. The transaction interface enables user to select their preferred page after completing a transaction. A confirmation page gives user the chance to check and double check the information. This activity diagram makes it easier to comprehend how the online banking system works by graphically representing the progression of decision and action. I'd like to I'd like to transfer Sunil for use case diagram.
Thanks, Jimran. So this is a use case diagrams. That means it shows the behavior of system through a visual sequence of activities and the interaction involved in that process. As you can see, the picture talk itself. So here we go. When you try to log in your system, it will show either close the application or change password or login. If you put it in like your correct login details, it will get you to the transaction system and it will show you the like check history, pay bills, transfer money. If you forget your password or something, your wrong credential, it will show like changes password and it will show to the update password or wrong password, or you can change your password through the customer database. We're going down to the transaction. You can see the picture. It shows the transaction like a check history, pay bills. So it shows it like when you open an online bank system, it shows the transaction. It shows the check history, pay bills, transfer money, and through the online, your customer can even apply for a loan or you can request for a loan. Or like a transfer money, you can see you can add pay when you transfer money to any organization or any person. You can add more number or you can add more account number through the system, or if you know you can transfer pay, you can transfer money through the someone's phone number and ID or email ID as well from the admin section. So what admin do is he manage the users, he manage the accounts of the customer, and he manage the loan, who should give them loan and he should not give the loan. And it admin also generate the reports. So the admin may is like a head of the bank, so that approve online through the like he approve the loan things, or he have access to deny the loan as well. And you can log out through, you can see the section here is a log out whenever you want, and you can. So now I would like to move forward to my friend Sravan ever talking about the use case diagram description. He will describe more thing about the use case diagram.
Just a moment, Shravan. I will have to interrupt. We might have to be quick because we just got 7 minutes left, or else the session is gonna end. So yeah, we'll have to be nice and short and simple now. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Sunil and Riwaj. I'll just quickly explain through the use case description. It's we already seen this use case diagram. I'm just writing down the description. What are the precondition, post conditions, and who are the stakeholder involved, and what is the given scenarios, what is the triggering event, what is the brief description, what are the actors that were involved in the use case diagrams. So let's quickly go through the scenario. As we have already discussed, we are making the online banking systems. That is our scenario. What is the triggering events? The transactions are notified through the online bank statements. Either it's in your phone or in your through your online net saver. Uh, the triggering event is the transactions. Whenever the transactions are made, they are notified. The brief description is this online banking system shows the amount available in the account, shows the details of the transaction. As we have already discussed, transaction is sent, received, and spent on any online shoppings. So moving on, we have actors. Bank itself is the actor, employee are the actors, admin are the actors, and whoever is using this system, customers, they are the actors. In our case, we have no any related use cases. So moving on into the stakeholders, we have investor, customers, employees, governments, regulators, business partners, board of directors, and shareholders. So we have precondition and post conditions. For the preconditions, whenever account is created for new online banking system users, the customer and account must exist, and the online banking system credentials must exist and match while logging in. If uh, you are new, you have to go through a different process like create a new account. Is my friend has already discussed. If you are the old customer, your credentials must match. And the post conditions, if any transaction happens, they must be notified through email or SMS as shown in the system. And here is a flow of activity. We have actor and system. Whenever customer requests to log into the system lookups for the credentials and match with the server. If match, login will be success. Otherwise, it will considered invalid attempts. As we can see in this figure, if login is happened and login, you can change your password and the transaction like this. So we have to go through like that. And for each transaction, the system is recorded in the database. System creates the transaction details and saves in the system. And moving on, we have for each failed transaction, if the transaction is failed and the money is already transferred, in that case, the system updates the account balance without the deduction. If it's already sent and it shows in the failed category, it should like return the money back to the previous account. And the exception condition, if the transaction is not completed, we should notify the users and the deposit the withdrawal amount. And we have make one exception condition that is very interesting. After 5 login attempts, like invalid attempts, account will be freeze for the 2 hours or until they seek help from the admin by calling the customer service. Moving on, I will pass to the Riwaj for his sequence diagram.
Sorry about that. I had to stop the recording because the session just lasted 40 minutes. So I have to start a new one. So let's get started with the sequence diagram. As you can see in the sequence diagram, we have a actor that's a customer over there, and there's entities Commonwealth Online Banking, and there's the server of Commonwealth Bank server. So whenever a customer enters the login credentials in the Commonwealth Online Banking software, it goes into the server for the verification process. So the PIN which he has entered, it goes into the server, and then the server verifies whether that's the correct pin or not, and then it comes back. So here we can see the verify pin is going to the Commonwealth Bank server, and once the ping is verified, it comes back and it says the pin is valid, and it opens up the account. Or let's say if the pin is not correct, it's the server comes up with the message that the pin is not verified, and then there's an error and the customer is not able to access the system. And there are some other features as well the customers can do, that maybe selecting the transfer funds, choosing the accounts, or let's say maybe entering the amounts that he wants to transfer or send to someone. So everything is done from here, from the online banking. So it what happens is that once he enters the amount, the same process happens over here as well. So the Commonwealth online banking, it sends the data that the customer has entered to the bank server to verify if the customer has, let's say, the whether the sufficient amount of balance in the system or not. So here's the two cases as well. So let's say if he has a sufficient balance, it comes back as the transfer is successful. Or let's say if the fund he has is not sufficient, it comes up with the message, or it comes back saying that the balance is insufficient and the transfer is unsuccessful. So this is the sequence diagram. Now I would like to call Sangam to explain his diagram.
Thanks, Rivaj. I'm going to explain the class diagram here. In this project, we have created few classes, just like admin, bank user, employee, customer, saving account, and current account. And all these accounts are interrelated with each other. This diagram help us to know how the user is going to interact with the bank system, or the employees going to interact with the other system, just like customers is going to interact with the account, saving account, credit account, debit and credit, and the employer is going to access the banking system just like the accounts. And you can see in each class diagram we have denoted the entities and methods in each of the section, which indicates each elements. So this diagram discuss how the relationship is with the classes. And for next part, I no.
This one.
Now let's go to my other part, the software testing. In our project, we have done the software testing on only three. We have categorized the testing in three factors, just like the unit testing, user acceptance testing, and the service testing. And in service testing, we have system and integration testing. And inside it, we can find the things like performance, security, regression, usability, compatibility, and data accuracy testing. And can we make the figure a little small? No, that's fine. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, that's fine. As you can see in unit testing, we have end-to-end testing or functional testing, and in service testing, we have integration and system testing. And this is the pyramid. As you go down the pyramid, it is hierarchical from, as you go down the pyramid, you can find the lower cost, and the upper testing are more expensive. So this diagram describe these things, and we'd like to go on the next slide. And this figure here shows the relationship between different testing. In this testing, the unit testing focus on individual components or functions, and the integration testing focus on integration between multiple components, modules, and system testing focus on the entire software system, and acceptance testing focus on the end user perspective. So these testing are interrelated with each other. When we complete one testing phase, then we'll go to another, and as a whole, we make sure that the system is completely tested before we deploy the entire banking system. So that's it for my part. Now I would like to call Mr. Rivas for the conclusion.
Thanks everyone for presenting your parts. So I believe we are at the end of this session. I think we had the references, isn't it, Shravan? Could you please turn over to the references? Yeah, so these are the references that me and all my team members have used. We've got various books and websites that we have researched to complete the project. And lastly, we'd like to thank our teacher for providing us this opportunity to complete the project. So thanks everyone.
Thank you.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks, guys.
sir.